Frank and I here, founder of People Who Grow, the resource that focuses on that, helping you grow in the key areas of life. One of the main focuses that perhaps you've asked yourself is, how can I finally launch and grow my own business? Have you ever been in a position where your family, maybe even your friends, and those around you stop taking you seriously because you talk such a game, meaning you speak so much about your dreams and what you're going to do and your plans and everything that's connected to that. But then there's nothing really to show for it. And my friend, I feel you. I understand you because that was my story for 8 years. And you know what I learned? That nothing was going to change unless I did something about it. And while I helped so many others build their businesses and their careers, I never really took, or rather I say, I never had that confidence to do it for me. So today, what I aim to share are some principles to help you in your journey on what you need to do in order to start growing, to realign yourself and come back to that space where you're actually taking action. So the 5 things I'll be talking about are, number 1, skills to pay bills, one day versus day one, vision is learned, is my 3rd point. 4th, direction is choice. And 5, add unique value. So let's get into these specifics so we can start moving forward. And again, there is nothing like having that sense of control, that sense of progress. And when you know you're doing the actionable items and the specifics that are moving you closer and closer to your dream, that's when you're able to get rid of this burden, this heavy weight that has killed so many dreams. You know, a quick story here. Do you know what the richest, wealthiest place in the world is? Some might say, right, like maybe the Federal Reserve, or you might think, maybe one of the billionaires in the world have it, the trillionaires, companies like Apple and Amazon. But the truth is, it's the cemetery. Think of all the memorial tombstones with all those who have gone to their deathbed without ever realizing their dream. And they did it because they never really took the time to do what you're doing today, which is to understand and seek help in order to take that idea, those thoughts, and translate these into actionable, real-world items. And quite often, so many go to their death without ever realizing that they never used the potential and the gifts that they were given. But my friend, that's not you today. So what is it that you need to learn? Well, I already talked about these, but let's get more into specifics here. Skills pay bills. There's nothing like making a commitment to focusing on the mastery of specific skill sets that can enable you to grow. What I mean by that is, if you're looking to launch a business online, you have to learn how to master the skill of communication, speaking to a camera, or speaking in general, right, to get these ideas from your head into a medium or method that someone's going to understand, and understand that there's a plethora of skills you're going to learn. But you have to schedule time in your calendar this week in order to start moving forward. And so often, a skill that's underrated but ever so valuable, it's the skill of planning, of being able to set a direction and then work towards it. And when you've got that, my friend, now you're moving forward and you're making that progress, that cadence that gets you going. Now, specific actionable takeaway here, look at your calendar, put a half-hour minimum, and if that's too much, then aim for 15 minutes, where you can get books, you can look at the top bestsellers in the industry, like for example, marketing books, communication books, teaching books. Again, take your books and start to schedule time to read them, to learn them, because that's how you're going to acquire the skills. Good? Excellent. Next point, we have that here, one day versus day one. What do I mean by that? There was never going to be a perfect moment to start. Some people never took action and they went to their deathbed because they were waiting for that moment, that specific opportunity to come and tell them, today you are knighted, dear sir, and you will be a king. Whatever, right? That's the point. Like, that never happens. Unless you start to move and you start to change, realize that your life is going to start to match what it is you're looking for. So, will today be your day one? Or will you continue to be like the vast majority of people who are waiting for one day? And it's not your fault, because that's what we've been taught. But here at People Who Grow, we think differently, because we're here to grow and not to die empty. Next one. Vision is learned. In the computer software industry, there's this term called GIGO, which means garbage in, garbage out. For so many people, they're spending so much of their life focused on doing the things that everyone else is doing. And that means binge watching TV, gossiping, talking bad, keeping themselves in a state where they're not adding value. Needless to say, what they're putting inside of them is garbage, a whole bunch of trash. Now, I don't know about you, but if you've ever been in an area where there's a big landfill, you start noticing that rotten, putrid scent just takes over you. In fact, I can compare this to, it's kind of like when you're driving and all of a sudden you get that stench from like a dead rodent, maybe a skunk in the road. Can you imagine what kind of good you're going to be creating if that's all you were eating? Ugh, it's disgusting. But anyway, understand that to have a vision and a direction, you have to start putting in good items. So like I mentioned earlier, start reading books, start surrounding yourself with people who are going to encourage your dream of launching and getting that business off the ground. Because the moment you start doing that, then you start pulling in the right people. And that's when your vision is learned. You start seeing that there's more to your current situation because that's all you can see. And you start tapping into the power of your imagination about this ability to change the environment and surroundings before you. And you change. Which kind of leads and connects to the next point. Direction is choice. Understand that every decision you make is a commitment. A commitment towards your future, towards your growth. And if you can start to reduce the overwhelm, here's how to do it. Start thinking about your next decision in the next minute or so. And if that's too much, don't think about anything but what you're thinking about now. I know that sounds kind of meta and it might be confusing. Let me explain it a little bit more simply. When you don't feel like doing something, at any given time, remember you have a choice. And if you can count yourself down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action, go. There's this small sliver of opportunity to get yourself from your current self to the version of you that is able to take action. You see, quick story here. There was a man who had his grandson and he was trying to explain to him the reasoning behind good and bad. And the grandson just wasn't getting it. So the grandfather told him, I want you to picture the following. Inside of you, you have two wolves who are fighting one versus the other. One wolf is the wolf of good, whereas the other wolf is the wolf of evil. And at any given time, there's this battling back and forth between the two. So the grandson looks to the grandfather and says, but Grandpa, which one wins? The grandfather responds, the one you feed. And realize that in your business, in your life, there's this warring, these two wolves that are happening and destroying one another inside of you. The one between the two is you. The one wolf that's saying, I can build, I can release, I have this in me. And the other one that's saying, no, you can't. It's not yours to do. And the one we feed is the one where we take these little micro actions. instead. So when you choose to feed the good wolf and take a good direction, in that moment, you are moving. And it might feel slow. It might feel like you take a few steps forward and then you go back. But my friend, believe it. You have this ability inside of you to launch the vision and the dream because they were given to you. No one else has that ability to see what you have. And realize that the most important thing is you are valuable. And the last point, add unique value. The more you're able to contribute, this conversation that you start by sharing your thoughts in a concise, clear manner, this is an ability. But understand that the more valuable you are, the better your design, the contributing, whatever it is that you stand out for, know what that is. It's not enough to have someone tell you you're smart, but you want to learn how you're smart. You want to know what it is that you see and how you can enable others to have a better experience in their life by understanding what it is you see. What I mean by that, you're given a unique perspective. And ultimately, regardless of all the other experts out there, they will never be able to share or communicate in the perspective that you have. As an example, I'm entering here into a field that's highly competitive, that of marketing, of online business, of growth and development, of training. And I realize that there's already many people out there who have very good information, but they will never be able to combine their words, share their words, maybe create the slides, the visions, the ideas that I have, because that's been given to me. And all of us inside have this ability to nurture, to uplift and raise others by being and sharing and training from our hearts. And that's what I encourage you to think about today. So to recap, 5 things. Number 1, skills pay bills. The more skills you are, the more valuable you become, and the more the marketplace wants to be in touch with you because you've got information to share. 2, one day versus day one. Make this your first day of a new life. The day that changed your life began with a decision to do so. 3, vision is learned. The better good that comes in out of this abundance, then you'll be able to share and create value and contribute to those around you. 4, direction is by choice. What this means is you choose your direction by aiming. Remember the story of the wolves? Feed the good wolf. Make the hard choice because it'll be worth it. And 1 year from now, you'll be thanking yourself for the decisions you made today. Not tomorrow, not what happened in the past. That's done. The future's in here. Now, my friend, this is when it matters. And number 5, add unique value by sharing your perspective. There is nothing, my friend, that will compare to the value that you bring because only you can see it. And when you do, we all benefit. We all rise together when everyone's living their best and their happiest, and that is the moment that our lives begin to change. So, a recap, here's some principles. Action step. What I want you to do today after watching this video is share what is it that reached you out the most. If there's one takeaway, one specific idea of everything that was mentioned today, what would it mean to you if you could apply that in your life? And if anything, if you can maybe share some of your invitations, share this with a friend, share this with whoever you know can benefit from this message. Because I believe we're all here to help each other grow. And that's the reason why together we are people who grow.